I had to sing the Lord's Prayer and watch my father walk my sister down the aisle to the pussy that had just raped me. And this bitch fucking Jamie, piece of shit, fucking South Philly Tasker Project, piece of shit motherfucker sitting there smiling with a shit-eating fucking grin. He wasn't smiling because he was happy to get married. He was smiling because he knew in that moment that he'd gotten away with murder and he wasn't never going to go to jail for what he done to me. Fuck you, Jamie. I hope you catch something they can't cure. Or maybe somebody rape you the way you raped me. Maybe I ought to pay somebody to do it. Maybe I'll finally fucking feel better. I've been gang raped by fucking worse than you, bitch. And you're the only rape that haunts me. I guess because you still breathing, because the rest of them pussies ain't. Don't nobody get to touch me for free. And you ain't dead yet. You owe me! You owe me fucking flesh, bitch! And fuck my fucking sister. I told her until she fucking publicly acknowledged what they done to me, she can't call herself my sister ever again. Fuck you and your motherfucking kids that you had with that rapist, bitch. I don't give no fuck if our mom was raped and all our aunts was raped and if incest was fucking normal. It wasn't ever normal to me! I can't.
This is all before you're 18, so I don't want to end with anything before.
I hadn't even got pregnant with Giovanni yet.
How old were you when that happened?
When I was 15. After the rape, after the wedding, I left home again. And I didn't come back until I was 5 months pregnant. See, my sister and her husband, after they got married, moved back home with my parents. Because he's about to go to prison for that credit card scam that they did. And my sister, she turned state's evidence, and he took a deal. So they pretty much stayed at my parents' house up until right before he went away. They got a little railroad apartment down Hamilton, and then he went to jail. But I didn't come home until I was pregnant and showing because I figured that would be the only way he wouldn't touch me. So I got pregnant to protect myself.
Giovanni's father?
Yeah, Donnie.
Was that a relationship?
No, he was my choreographer for my girl group, Philly's Blunt, Black Ladies United in Truth. That was my first group. We was gonna be TLC, but it was 6 of us, and we could all dance, we could all rap, and I was the lead vocalist. He goes, Donnie is what he calls himself, but his name is Donald Boykins.
Hello, you have reached Steve Wakens. I'm not available at the moment. Leave your name, your number, and a brief message, and I'll return your phone call as soon as time allows. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Donnie, they filming me talking about my life story. And we're getting to the section where I got pregnant with Giovanni. So if there's anything you don't want me to talk about, you need to hit me back and let me know. I know we haven't talked since 2018. I know, I'm fucking terrible. But I don't want to I don't want to paint you in a bad light. So just let me know what you don't want me to say. All right, bye.
Let's circle back.
If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To send your message with normal delivery, press 1. To send your message with urgent delivery, press 2. Thank you. Your message has been sent.
So before we get to that part, there's been a lot of, with the music where, you're creating, but there was also a lot of destruction that was happening around you, or I'm assuming. Let's say, as you're getting to your teenage years, did you have any close, either friends, family members that you lost?
My cousins and my aunts. When I ran away, I would usually go live with them unless I went to New York. And when I was in New York, I was either down 117th and 2nd with my dude who I used to hustle Coke and chocolate tie with. His mom told everybody I was her daughter, so nobody questioned why I was in the neighborhood. Or I stay out Brooklyn, out Flatbush. But if I was in the city, I would either be with my cousin Mark, or I'd be at my Aunt Frida's down Southwest Philly, or I'd be at my Aunt Belinda's up Logan, 4800 block of Marshall Street, 5th and Loudon, UNLV. Or I was down the projects with my Aunt Dot down Richard Allen.
Did you have any close people that passed away or didn't make it early on in your life?
Oh, God. Yeah, that's a long list. By the time I was 19, I had been to over 150 funerals of just my friends. And I sang at 2/3 of those funerals. The worst was when they murdered Sultan.
Who was he to you?
Nigga from the neighborhood. He was a hustler. Neighborhood dude. Out Logan. Sultan was so cool. Shit. See, Sultan liked to get money, and I like to get money. So I always had, mad respect for him. He got caught up in some shit. They cut him down, Huntington Park. Broad daylight in front of everybody. They shot him 50 times. And then there was my ex-dude, Anthony, who lived up Cayuga, 15th and Cayuga on the other side of Broad Street. He hustled on my side, Logan side, UNLV side, and there was that day. Me and Ant had just really started seeing each other. He was a hustler. He called me short. Everybody, that's back when everybody was saying, yo, shorty, yo, shorty. He always had to be special. He got rid of the E. Just short, yo, short. I was short. And he came over every day after school, after I got home from school, because I was going to William Penn. He would meet me at Broad and Alany, or meet me at Broad and Loud, and stop and take me to get something to eat, and we go to my aunt's house, or we go to his mom's house where he lived and kick it, smoke, whatever. Me and his mom was cool.
What happened? What happened to him?
I don't know if Anthony's still alive. I hope he is. I hope he got better. Annie was at my crib all day. I played hooky. Danny was doing a deal with them niggas over on, what street was that? Like 11th and Loudon, basically. No, Wissahickon. They was fucking with some Puerto Rican niggas from the Badlands. They was doing some business with them. Danny was always real cocky. He was on some I'ma take your girl shit all the time. Fucked around with the wrong Puerto Rican niggas, fucked around with the wrong chick. Little did they know them niggas had been following them all day. Annie at my house, we laid up eating beef and broccoli, watching old episodes of Martin and shit. And I'll never forget when Danny came pick him up. And it was Danny driving, and then the other two young boys that they hustled with was in the back seat. And kissed me, jumped into the car. I had to go to Jersey because I was under court-ordered mandatory psychiatric treatment because I had a break, and I beat this girl up real bad. I beat her in her face with a brick. I snapped. So I had to go to Jersey every Thursday to meet with my psychiatrist. And he was like, call me as soon as you get to Jersey. I might come down there tonight. And I'm like, cool. And so I got on the train. I took the train. I got off at Camden. My mom picked me up, took me to my therapist's office. I went back to my family house in Berlin to sleep, and then I was going to take the train to go to school first thing in the morning. Back to Philly. I called Anthony. I called his mom's house. His sister picked up the phone. And she was like, Short, is that you? I'm like, yeah, where Anthony at? I finished my homework or whatever. I wanted to see if he was still coming to Jersey tonight because my boy got a party and yada, yada, yada. And she was like, it ain't going nowhere. I said, what you mean he ain't going nowhere? She was like, he in the hospital. I'm like, what do you mean he in the hospital? Where he at? She was like, he down Temple. He down Temple in the ICU. I'm like, what the fuck you mean he in the ICU? So that's when his sister told me that 6 blocks away after leaving my aunt's house at 4803 Marshall Street, the Puerto Rican niggas followed Danny and them down to the block. They pulled up alongside of them, ran up, Desert Eagle pump guns. The 2 niggas in the back seat, they blew both of their heads off. The one dude, they had the windows up because it was still wintertime. So they put the pump guns on the windows. They shot through the window. It spun the one bullet. The one charge took Danny's whole knee. So his leg ended up having to be amputated. But he was able to drive to Temple with the left leg. They tried to blow Anthony's head off, but he had put his hand up. So when they shot, it instantly blew the middle finger and the pointer finger off. And it twisted the blast enough, so instead of going into his head and his head exploding, it just took off like this piece of his head, and his brain was exposed. And that happened 6 blocks away. After he kissed me goodbye, told me he might come to Jersey. So I got the bus schedule. I knew the head of the ICU unit because it was my boo Tweet. It was his mom. Roger Shade mom, Miss Betty Shade. She was the head of the neuro intensive care unit. So I was able to get in, even though I was technically not family, to go see him. My cousin Donald, God rest his soul, he died during the pandemic, 2020. Donald came with me, and when we walked into the room, Aunt was, he had the shit down his throat, and they had stapled what they could staple together to cover the brain because the skull was gone there. And his hand was bandaged up because the 2 fingers was missing, but his thumb was real black, so it had already started dying. And I went into the hospital. And I grabbed his hand and I said, "Annie, it's me. It's Short." And then he kind of snapped awake and he started grabbing. And then the machines was going off and Miss Betty had to rush us out and my cousin was just crying. He was like, "Yo, Annie fucked up. Yo, Annie fucked." And them niggas came to our crib and Annie survived. He was in the hospital. The other 2 was dead on arrival because both of their heads got blown out. They had to amputate Danny's leg. And they had to put a plate. And Danny leg and Anthony had to get the plate. But they didn't put it in right away because the blood clots kept forming on his brain. So they had to just staple it because they had to go. So yeah, I was in the hospital with him every day. Temple Hospital is at Broad and Allegheny, which is a major stop on the Orange Line, and I went to school at William Penn, which is at Broad and Girard, which was a major stop. So I could catch the express train, get on at Girard, and then the next stop was, Allegheny. And so I was there every day. I'd go to school, leave school, go to McDonald's, get him a quarter-pounder meal, 2 apple pies, and a chocolate shake. And I was sneaking into the hospital because he hated hospital food. And the McDonald's was right there at the corner of Broad and Girard. It was perfect. So, and I would come and I would do my homework and sit with him. And then I found out other bitches was sitting with him. And then I came there one day and then Miss Betty was like, "Have you been coming up here having sex with him?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, I ain't having sex with him in no hospital. He's got half a brain. He got to recover." She said, "Well, child, and who gave him the clap?" And I'm, "What the fuck you mean he got the clap? This nigga had other fucking booty bitches from the neighborhood coming down there fucking him during the day while I was in school and then get rid of him out of the hospital. So he getting pussy. He fucking caught the clap. You got half the fucking brain, but your dick's just..." Anyway, we broke up after he got home. He finally came home. He wasn't right. He wasn't right. And one day we was laying in his bed and we was smoking an L. And I was high as shit. And he started rubbing me with his hand. But see, that thumb died. So all of this was gone. And all he had was the ring finger and the pinky finger. And the rest of the hand was gone. So he's sitting there rubbing me with the 2 fingers, and he trying to caress me. And I've been an asshole my whole life. I'm just real honest. I said, "Nigga, you feel like fucking Captain Hook. Get that shit the fuck off me." He's like, "You a fucking bitch." I'm like, "You fucking cripple." We was just a real North Philly relationship. And then we went to the McDonald's one day, and he had a seizure in the McDonald's, and I got him home. He had messed all over himself. He had dropped his food, and all of that and he was like, "I'm fucked up, Short. I ain't no good, and your life just getting started. Don't come around here no more." And I, "Fuck you talking about? I nursed you all the way through the hospital. You cheated on me. You got the fucking clap. You scared me half to death. You got piece of brain. You got piece of hand. I've been here all this shit, and you breaking up with me?" And he looked at me. He said, "Short, I'm out. I'm out the game. All I'm going to do is hold you back. Don't come back here no more." I got dressed and I left, and I never saw Anthony again. I never drove past his mother's house. Like, even when I was driving around the city, I avoided his block so I would never run into him. I don't know if Annie's still alive. But if you are, I'm sorry. I'm still mad at you for getting the clap in the hospital.
So I have to ask, did you have any fear in you back then as far as, the drug gang, the violence that was going on around in your neighborhood in Jersey?
I understood that violence. It had rules. It had structure. My home life didn't have no rules. Didn't have no structure. I'd rather be fucked over by a stranger than be fucked over by my family. Because at least if it's a stranger, I won't feel bad about shooting you. Because you're a stranger, I might think twice if you're my family. It was just easier that way.
Did you see yourself ever being involved in a life of crime? I know the music.
I'm a criminal. I've learned how to be a law-abiding citizen. Make you no mistake. I am a fucking criminal. I'm just good at being a criminal. I can't complain about any of the time I've spent in jail in my adult life. The truth is, if I had got caught doing any of the shit that I really did, I'd still be in jail now. So I can't be mad at a couple months in the county and I ain't got no penitentiary number when I should be doing 25 to life.
Did the police know you by name?
The feds know me by name. Fuck the cops. Ain't nothing but fucking security guards.
So on the creation part, the music.
Saved my life.
Who were you? You said there was a band that was put together, or a group of girls?
Yeah, my group, Philly's Blunt.
What was that?
Me and my cousins and my girlfriends from my block. Black Ladies Unite. Philly's Blunt. This was when blunts was very big. We was going to be bigger than TLC because there was more of us. And I could sing. There was 6 girls in the group. So we had double what TLC had. So the routines, the choreography, dope as fuck. But then everybody got boyfriends and started getting pregnant.
What were the ages of the group?
That was, everybody in the group was between the age of 13 to 15. And we had a manager, and I got us booked for our first talent show, and then that got me a gig singing backgrounds for a girl from Southwest Philly. I can't remember her name now. She lived down 47th in Baltimore. I was at 47th and Woodland, so I would have to go over her house and do the choreography. That's where I met my baby daddy. He was doing choreography for her too. And we did Teen Summit. I was one of her backup dancers for Teen Summit. Yeah. And then she got fucked over by Haq Islam, and nobody ever heard from her again. Haq Islam fucked her over so he could manage Maya. And Drew Hill. And then we being love bitches who he got all of them pregnant. He got the whole fucking group pregnant. How the fuck you the manager and you get every bitch in the group pregnant? We must be in love. You remember that song? Yup. Haq Islam fucked all them bitches, got them all pregnant.
How old was he?
I don't fucking know. He old as fuck now. He was old as dirt then. Haq was in his 40s back then. That was in the early 90s, so Haq should be like damn near 70. Dirty bitch. I'm so glad Maya ain't give you no pussy. You was trying to fuck her too hot. Your dirty fucking pedophile ass. But I do know that you fucked Cisco. Haq. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. What you think I ain't know? Maya told everybody you was fucking Cisco. It's Sigma Cell. Everybody tells Mike Tarsia everything. Because everybody gets high with Mike Tarsia. First time I seen Grace Jones fucking ass, ball, pussy naked was with Mike Tarsia. Cause she only sing in the booth naked. That's the only way Grace Jones can record. She gotta be ass naked in the booth. But yeah. So anyway, what was we talking about?
Philly Blunt.
Philly's Blunt. Yeah, that came and went. Everybody got pregnant. And then I became a solo artist. But I wasn't a singer, I was a rapper.
A rapper.
Yeah, that's where the name Jaguar come from. I was in a after Philly's Blunt, I got into a group from Chester, Pennsylvania called the Zoo Clique. And so everybody had animal name. But they all had like cool names and shit, Wolverine and Grizz and all. I'm like, I want an X-Man name. But they said, you want to be Jack? Jimmy looked at me. I was dating Jimmy at the time. I did a lot of dating when I was young. So I was dating Jimmy at the time. Jimmy Grizz from Fat Cat, not from Fat Cat Clique, from the Zoo Clique. Everybody was a clique back then. And Jimmy was like, Jag, if you gonna be in the group, your name is Jaguar. If your name ain't Jaguar, you can't be in the group. I was like, fuck it, I want to be in the group. I'll be this Jaguar bullshit. I felt like I was getting cheated. And being the geek that I am, I started studying the animal. And I started realizing how much I had in common with the animal. And then I started loving this animal. And I became that animal. I became Jaguar. I was the illest female MC on the streets in Philadelphia. I ghost wrote for Eve. I ghost wrote for Foxy Brown and she don't even know it. Easiest $1,000 I ever made. Fuck you, Inga. You ungrateful bitch. Frank Bank came to me and asked me ghost write for Eve before he died. And I did. I ghost wrote for a lot of people. You're welcome, Candy. And I'm talking about Candy Burris from Escape. Those early records that I wrote, those demos that I wrote down at Key Sweat Studio that your manager took and gave to y'all and had y'all front off like you actually fucking wrote them. Stole my records clean out from underneath me. I never got paid, Escape. But when the records made it a hit on the radio, it told me one thing. If they can steal your shit and it can make it on the radio, you can do your shit and it can make it on the radio. So y'all welcome for them ASCAP awards and shit that you got for them early records. Y'all bitches know you didn't write. But I ain't hating. I'm happy for you. Bravo. There's still a...
There's a lot, trust me.
No, because there's the whole, in between that time after I had Giovanni and getting signed, there were the 4 years that I was a dominatrix and a pimp.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.